Hello all and welcome to All Red. This is the final week of the 2024 summer transfer window. What will Liverpool do? This is the channel that is All Liverpool all the time. It's All Red. Please hit that like button and consider subscribing as we continue to build a tasty Liverpool channel here on YouTube. And please consider becoming a member for early access to videos and a bunch of other stuff. Liverpool have still yet to sign really anyone this summer. Now, they did get Mamardashvili done this week. He is officially signed, but we know that he will not join Liverpool until next season. And he's a goalkeeper that we really don't need right now, obviously. That's why he's staying at Valencia and would probably still be third in the pecking order behind Kelleher. Now, it's encouraging because he's an excellent third choice and probably the future number one at Liverpool. So it's a good bit of business, probably a much needed replacement here in maybe 3 to 4 years, I would say, maybe sooner. But Alisson has said he's happy at the club and he wants to stay. So that's behind us. Now, what is Liverpool going to do this week? I don't think it's possible that they escape this transfer window without signing at least one player that can come in this season and join the team. But here are some challenges to that. Number one, most, if not all, leagues across Europe and across the world have started. They could consider going, to South America and finding somebody there. But honestly, I think it's really late for a big signing to happen. That being said, it's not out of the picture and certainly not out of the realm of possibility for Liverpool to get something done this week. Now, the big question mark is why is it taking so long if they do have someone in their sights? It's not a good idea to wait until the last week or even the last day, unless, there's been some agreement already made and they're just waiting to announce it. Don't know why that would be the case. The fact of the matter is the transfer window is closing. It's coming up here on August 30th, which is, 3 days away now. And, there are still some gaps in Liverpool's first team that need to be addressed. Now let's look again at the A team and the B team for Liverpool. This is basically their depth chart in two different starting 11s. The A team here on the left side is essentially Arneslot's favorite 11. So we've seen this twice now already, once against Ipswich, and Konate came in that second half and clearly solidified his role as a starting defender. And then we saw that as well against Brentford. This is how Arneslot wants to start. And I kind of think that he's going to stick with this, barring any injuries or fatigue. I think this is going to be his preferred 11. And it makes a lot of sense because it's probably Liverpool's best 11. A lot of us, myself included, thought that Gakpo might need to start over Diaz, or perhaps Darwin comes in and starts as our number 9. But Diogo Jota and Luis Diaz have proven that they need to start. And we'll see again this week against Manchester United if Slot continues to go with this rotation. But even guys like Ryan Gravenberg, I said it right this time, Gravenberg, have proven that they probably need to be that first choice in their position. But look at the B team here. This is kind of where we say, all right, this is where we need to look at the reinforcements needed. I would say I'm gonna label a couple positions here that we need reinforcements with. So I'm gonna say, Ben Doak as the kind of first choice behind Salah is probably not great. I think, if Salah were to go down, we'd have issues. I think we'd have some major issues. Now, that's not to say that, Gakpo or Diaz could shift over or even Darwin could shift into that right wing, or Dominic Szoboszlai, because that's, we've seen him play there as well. Harvey Elliott came in late in the game against Brentford and played in that right wing. I don't really want him there. He doesn't have the pace or the power to really beat defenders 1v1. I see him more in this role, the Szoboszlai role, that 8 to 10 role, and see him flourishing there. But clearly Szoboszlai is preferred there, which, I think I agree with. Szoboszlai has looked really good in this early season, and if we can unlock him, I think he has, right now at least, a higher ceiling than Harvey Elliott. Just the power and the pace that he has is hard to match. Let's look at elsewhere. I'm gonna actually put this. I'm gonna put this as a red. I'll make it this color because I think that is really kind of a big need at the moment. I didn't know that this was a need. But seeing the depth behind Salah now, I think it is. I think it is. Now, again, Szoboszlai could shift there, and Harvey Elliott could come in and play that Szoboszlai role. But then I think we have other issues because Szoboszlai, I think, would be a little bit more prone to fatigue or injury if he's playing in that Salah role. But let's continue on here and look at other areas of concern. I think right off the bat, we could take both of these positions. Jones is already injured. And then I don't think anybody is comfortable saying, yes, Endo is going to, if Gravenberg goes down, Endo coming in is a great option for Liverpool. Even Bajcetic right now is just an unknown because, he really hasn't played in 2 years and he is exceptionally injury prone. So Curtis Jones, Endo, Bajcetic, not great options in these very important roles here in the double pivot. So what else? What else do we see here as areas of big concern? I don't think we have a concern at right back. I think Connor Bradley is typically the first or second choice off the bench. Probably why Arneslot has taken Trent off in the first 2 matches, because he has a very, very suitable backup who can keep Trent Alexander-Arnold fresh. Now, I will say with these 2 positions, I could see Trent Alexander-Arnold perhaps slotting in here at either one of these positions. We saw him get forward. There were a couple times versus Brentford where he was not really playing as a right back. He was much further up on the field, which is great. And I think that's probably the plan. When Liverpool are in possession, Trent Alexander-Arnold's able to go up. And it really is kind of a 3-4-4, if you will. That equals 11 because I'm counting Alisson in that. When we are in possession, Alisson really is another player who we're able to access to move the ball forward. Now, the other part of this is, how comfortable are we with this kind of secondary back line? I think Bradley and Kwanzaa are very solid choices. And even Tsimikas, as a backup is suitable. It usually takes him 1 or 2 matches to get up to speed because he really doesn't see the pitch a whole lot when Andy Robertson is fit. And by the way, Andy Robertson looked really good against Brentford. After his kind of rough outing against Ipswich, he had a really good match against Brentford. Probably should have scored, and he looked really, really good. So that was an encouraging sign. But, how do we feel about the Joe Gomez or the Tsimikas role? I think it's okay. But again, like if Robertson were to go down and we are solely relying on Tsimikas, up next after that, it's academy kids. And we have a lot of left backs in our academy, but I don't think we want to do that. And so, hey, maybe Joe Gomez is able to shift over there, but that leaves a big gap and a big hole in our center back. So I'm going to say, if we're able to keep Joe Gomez, which, he was on the team sheet against Brentford, which was, I think, encouraging because I think keeping Joe Gomez would be a really good idea just because of his versatility. I'm going to say this and, maybe an honorable mention for Tsimikas because, I think he's a suitable backup. No, he's not a world-class left back, of course. But this, I think, kind of shows the heat map. And I don't want to like dog on the team too much, but honestly, if Jota were to go down, how comfortable are we relying on Darwin Núñez for goals in a very pivotal position where we've seen, Jota didn't score against Brentford, but he's been very important. Now, Jota hasn't played super well, and even Mohamed Salah didn't play very well against Brentford. He scored, but lost possession quite a bit and was a little sloppy. But, we'll say these 6 positions are potentially concerning on the depth chart. If I had to pick one position where I was just like, you know what, we really, really need to invest or else, man, it's kind of hard. I'm probably not doing this one. I'm probably... because we've got Szoboszlai, because potentially Trent Alexander-Arnold being able to jump into that midfield, I don't want to rely on Jones at all. But I'm whittling them down here. This is very difficult because I think we need extra help in a lot of these positions. These are probably my top 2, and honestly. Oh, man, it's tough because Gravenberch has looked really good and Mohamed Salah has looked really good. But if either one of those 2 go down, I think we have big issues. Big issues. Just potentially because I think the double pivot is a little bit more important in the slot system than the right wing. Not by much. They're both very important. I'm going to say here, if we can get a suitable defensive-minded midfielder who's able to do what Ryan Gravenberch has done, I'd feel a lot better about just our chances here in the first half of the Premier League season. Inevitably, the Champions League, the cups are going to start, and we're going to need more depth. But honestly, this would be the position, if any. Obviously, we know that Slot and co. were ready to pursue Zubimendi. They were pursuing him. That seems to be the position of need. Even with Gravenberch doing really well in the first 2 matches, still a position of great need. And so I'll leave it off with this. I am not FSG out, and I'm not like a super lover of FSG. But I will say, if Liverpool fail to sign a player who is able to make some level of impact in this first half of the season, if Liverpool fail to do so, it will be a really, really bad look. It will be bad. And I'm not saying that as, someone who is really, really upset. Would I be upset if they didn't? Not necessarily, because I'm more of like hey, let's let the results on the pitch dictate that. Now, I get it. A lot of people are going to comment saying, but, hey, right now we know we have these needs. Why don't we just address them? I agree with that too. I think, yes, like if it were up to me, I would have signed 2 or 3 players this summer who would be able to come in behind our starting 11 and make a big impact. So I'll leave it at that. I'd love to know what you think. Hey, just looking at these 2 teams here, these 2 A teams and B teams, what do you think? What do we need to do? Do you expect anything to happen this week? Or are you comfortable with Liverpool waiting and saying, we're good for now, let's let Slot cook and see what needs arise in the winter or next summer? That kind of sounds ridiculous to say, but that might be the reality, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, of course.